Thank you. Thank you, Steve Doyle. Great representative. I was thrilled to be asked to join with the Crosse area labor community for this Labor Day parade and rally. It is fabulous to have all of you here. And I know this is a day about honoring the dignity of hard work and the labor movement and all it's accomplished. But I do want to say a few things as we're gathered here today before we turn to celebration about the seriousness of the moment that we're in. You see, there's a lot of noise and chaos in Washington right now. And that noise, whether it's the tweet fests or the cable news shows where there's shout fests or whatever it is, it means that Washington is not working for Wisconsin. And that has got to change, because in this chaos and in this noise, there's only a handful of people who actually benefit. The rich, the powerful, the well-connected. And I just want to share a couple of examples of how it affects us right here in the state of Wisconsin. The first story I want to tell you is about Crosse, Wisconsin. It's a village about 10 miles north of Wausau. And for over 100 years, a paper mill operated there, the Crosse paper mill owned by Wausau Paper Company. A few years back, some New York hedge funds began taking more and more control of Wausau Paper Company. And they were manipulating things to run up stock prices to make a few people a short-term profit. What did they do? They sold 2 of their Wisconsin paper mills and they closed Crosse. It was like from hundreds of miles away, these vulture hedge funds were playing Monopoly, selling plastic properties with paper money. They didn't give one hoot. They didn't give one care about the hard workers, the hundreds of them that got pink slips. They didn't care about the impact on the whole community. And believe it or not, it was so dire in the case of Crosse that the village faced insolvency and almost went bankrupt. That's wrong. We need to be thinking about workers and communities and their value. And it's why I'm fighting back with the Crosse Act to put an end to this sort of vulture capitalism. The second story I want to share real quick is about my efforts on Buy America. You know, I've been fighting for Buy America provisions in legislation whenever we're using taxpayer dollars. Those taxpayer dollars ought to support U.S. jobs and U.S. products. But you know what? Last year we were working on a water infrastructure bill. You know, fixing people's drinking water, replacing lead pipes where there's lead pipes, wastewater treatment, locks and dams, all those things you care about when you're a river city like La Crosse. And I put in a Buy America provision. It passed the Senate, went to the House. Paul Ryan and the Republicans took it out. I couldn't believe it. I couldn't understand why until I read an article in the Wall Street Journal that they were visited by high-paid lobbyists who were lobbying on behalf of Russian and Brazilian steel interests. We ought to be using those taxpayer dollars for U.S. steel, U.S. iron, and U.S. workers. I decided I was going to take on that fight again and offer a freestanding bill to restore those Buy America provisions. And you know where I went to introduce it, to announce the introduction? A place I know all of you know called Nina. My colleagues in Washington, they say, "Where's Nina?" I said, "Just look down." Because for 145 years, the Nina Foundry has been making manhole covers. You know what? when we're spending money on infrastructure, we've got to be supporting U.S. jobs and U.S. products. We've got to work together to do that. Let me just end with this note. Wisconsin has a deep history of being progressive on labor issues. First recognized labor unions in the public sector, a leader on apprenticeships, a leader on technical and vocational education so we can remain a state that makes things, that crafts things. We know that it's been imperiled. It's been imperiled in Madison and it's in peril in Washington, D.C. And we can only stop that when we work collectively, when we work together, when we stand in solidarity. Thank you for all you do every day to be the strong voice of the labor movement and the dignity of the working people in this state and this country. Thank you.